I'm just passing through Bacon Lane Bridge, or as it's otherwise known, or was known, Eye of the Needle. It was known as that because when the water was high, the keels had trouble getting through. It was so low, so much so they had to bar them through. So good morning. This brings us to the last part of my journey down Tinsley Canal. We're not too much paddling today, just about half a mile, and that will get us to Victoria Quays, the end of the canal in Sheffield. Now there's a lot to see there, so I'm going to get out at Victoria Quays and show you around in a bit more detail. This little section we've got to do, you can probably hear the sounds of industry in the background, so there is a lot happening. There's quite a few bridges to go through, and you'll also see the ruined buildings of former industries. So we'll get off and make our way up to Victoria Quays. So we're just leaving Bacon Lane Bridge on our way towards Sheffield, and there's lots to see on the way. Certainly is a nice way to travel, especially on a day like today with a beautiful blue sky. We're just about to pass under what is Bernard Road Bridge. I don't know if you can hear that noise. That's a big Bernard Road incinerator. It's where all our Sheffield rubbish is burnt, and then it's used to generate electricity and generated back onto their electricity network. Onward. I'm just passing what I think are possibly party boats. They're moored up, and behind them there's loads of beer kegs, so I'm not sure whether it's some sort of bar or they're just boats to party on. I'm not sure. Well, we'll carry on and head up to the next bridge. This boat across there is manned by volunteers of the Canal River Trust, and they do a fantastic job by maintaining the tow path and working on the canal to keep it in great condition for people like myself to kayak on and other people just to walk down the tow path. Can you hear that engine? What a lovely sound thumping away. It looks like they finished work for this morning, and are off for a well-earned lunch break. So I think I'll move out the way. That's the Midland Railway Bridge. Built about 1870, I believe, and it still carries trains from Sheffield Midland Station to Leeds and York. It's been widened a few times, and as you can see, there's quite a few colourful murals being painted on. Just pulled in at Cabden Road Bridge. It's another of the original 1819 bridges. Very old. Now if we look on the other side, some very old buildings. Now that is what was known as Parker's Wharf. Built about 1840, and it was used for the importing of bone and ivory, and that was used extensively in the cutlery trade for the handles of the knives and the forks. So we'll head on underneath the bridge and might make our way up to Victoria Quays. Getting close to Victoria Quays now. You can see there's several boats moored up, and there are workshops where they are actually working on the boats. There's an interesting mural painted here. I think this mural is to do with a man called Spence Broughton. He was a highwayman, and he robbed a postboy on Attercliffe Common. Later he was caught and he was hanged at York. Now his body was returned to the site of his crime, and it was hung in a gibbet, which is like a steel cage, where it remained for several years. Further back down the canal we have Broughton Lane, and that is where it got its name from. A highwayman. We're just passing through one of the massive arches of the Wicker Railway Viaduct. Built between 1848 and 1853, this is only one of 48 arches. Look at that stone and brickwork, probably all built by hand. It was the largest masonry viaduct in Europe at that time. Ahead, you can just see Victoria Quays, where we're heading. Just passing under a massive new road bridge just before Victoria Quays. Now that is what you call urban camping. Ahead is Victoria Quays. We've got a lot of barges, or keels should I say, all moored up. That bright sunshine will make filming
not easy. So I'm going to moor up here, get me kayak chained up, and then I'll walk round the quays trying to show you all the old buildings, etc. So I can pull in and get out here. It's not too high, it is further higher on, and it's difficult to get out. This quay side isn't bad. It's not very elegant. I basically have to just crawl out. Oops. Very sunny.
We are in the marina now. Now that's looking back to where we came in. My kayak is secured to a fence behind those moored boats, so I know it's safe. I can leave it for an hour or so. There's several old buildings here, all refurbished and renovated in 1992 to 94. We'll have a look round. Ahead lies what is called the Straddle Warehouse. Now that was built around 1895 to 98. The quay was expanding and they needed more unloading area, and this provided additional warehousing as well. Keels could go inside, so goods like sugar and fruit, etc. could be hoisted up through the trapdoors onto various floors in the warehouse. You can see there are 5 unloading bays, so you could get 5 keels in at once. We'll have a look round the other side now. This is round the other side of the Straddle Warehouse. It's now used mainly for office buildings, but I suppose it's quite a nice place to work. Ahead, the main building you can see is known as the Terminal Warehouse. Again, one of the original buildings, built in 1819, and again it was used for unloading goods. It allowed a keel to go inside to unload. You can actually see, so I don't know if it's a rebuilt or a replica of a keel inside. The adjoining building is known as the Grain Warehouse. That was built later in 1870, part of an expansion. And again, that was for unloading grain, such as barley, which would then be transferred to the many breweries. I gather Sheffield was a good place for a pint, even in them days. Just round the back of the Straddle Warehouse now, to the right you can see this building. Well, that was the Tinsley Coal Company office. Coal was brought in from the colliery 3 miles down the canal at Tinsley Park by keel, and then it was distributed by horse and cart to houses in Sheffield. This curving two-storey terrace street. I think it's known as Merchants Terrace. It was actually the office buildings for the coal and lime merchants that operated out of Victoria Quays. Again, all renovated, and I'm sure it would make a great film set. It's even got the original cobbled street. This is an entrance to the dry dock. It's where keels could be brought in to be repaired. Behind you can see various arches, and today they've got cafes, bars. There's even one where you can book a boat trip on the canal. So it's just a nice place to come and sit, have a cup of coffee, piece of cake, or a drink. So we're back where we started now, on the swing bridge at the entrance to Victoria Quays. That's looking back down the canal where we first kayaked in. I'm going to retrieve my kayak from behind those boats on the left, and then I'll have a word with you on the quay side.
Well, that completes our journey along Sheffield and Tinsley Canal. A journey through Sheffield's industrial past. Such a lot to see. That's why I did it over 3 videos. There was so much to look at. And it's great to see that money is being spent on the old canal buildings and also refurbishing the canal itself. So I would encourage you, come down to Sheffield and Tinsley Canal. Even in winter, you can comfortably have a day's kayaking, get the right gear, and you'll be plenty warm enough. Or just come for a walk along the towpath. There's so much to see, so much natural history to see, and also so many people to talk to. Everybody wants to stop and talk and tell you their little story. So I'm gonna launch my kayak again and head off back down to Bacon Lane where we set off earlier this morning. Go and enjoy this last bit of sunshine. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye then.